Hey guys, this is CryptoCruz once again with CoinFinancial, bringing you another crypto market update on the go. And what we're looking at here is actually the Bitcoin price. Um, so we talked about the rising wedge, right? That's most likely to break to the downside. It did break to the downside, but what it looks like is it broke to the downside and went all the way down to the bottom of the wedge, which is pretty normal. That is actually a support line, first target support line when a rising wedge breaks. It usually breaks to the bottom and see if it supports that level. If it didn't support that level, we could have went all the way back down to around 19,003 or even all the way down to 18,009. But fortunately, we actually supported this level, the bottom of the rising wedge, and we wicked above it. It's more like a fake out, right? If you look at the 4-hour chart, if we look at the 4-hour chart right here, hold on one second. Right there, it was more kind of like a fake out. So what I want to do now is redraw this. Let me move this thing right here because it's in the way. Redraw this longer, right? Because that is definitely still a resistant. No matter how you look at it, that's always going to be a resistant. And since that is a resistant, look what we're doing. We are breaking that resistant level and we are now above it. So, and if we zoom back into the 2 hours, that is actually a 2-hour squeeze that we're breaking out of. And that is a beautiful textbook squeeze. And we are now forming a bubble, and Bitcoin is rising once again. Now, where is our target for this breakout, right? We have to wait for confirmation to make sure this is a real breakout and not a fake out, meaning we may go back down, or we need to see if we can hold this resistance that is now support. That orange line, again, what was once resistant becomes support. We need to see if we can hold that and make it as a support line. If we zoom out more to the daily chart, and then we bring out the other indicators that we have, as you can see, we are still very well extended. We're way above the Bollinger Band. We are way overbought. The MACD is still looking pretty good, but we are actually very high on that as well, right? It looks like it tried to reverse but continued back up, and it's continued to go up. So even the RSI started going up also, but nonetheless, we are still in the overbought territory, and we are still overextended. But we can keep going, right? In the future, I'm talking about maybe, because this is the daily chart, maybe weeks or even a month or two from now, I would really love to see us retrace back, because it's just healthy, right? It is not healthy if we keep going back up and up and up. That leads to a crash, a massive crash. So if we can actually just retrace back and kind of cool off, that would be really great. And that is actually a high probability of that happening because of how the chart looks. But there is a good chance before that happens, how high can we go? If we go to the weekly chart and we zoom back in on the MACD, first of all, we are still definitely in a huge bullish divergence on the MACD, and we're separating even more, right? We're trying to get right here to this level, and if we get above that, well, that is great news, okay? So we're definitely, this is the weekly chart, and we are definitely still very bullish on that. On RSI, right, we are not on the overbought territory yet on the weekly chart, but we are in a resistant line right here. If you look to the left, as you can see, this was a resistant, that was a support, this was a resistant, right? So we are definitely on a resistant line right here, and we could get rejected in the short term, right? Or we could go a little higher and then get rejected. So we'll see. But as far as the main chart goes, let's zoom in on that and see how high could we actually go if we continue this, right? Let's see. So right here, Oh man, I accidentally moved my there you go. So right here, we are right here at now. If you look at the Bollinger Band, it's trying to form a squeeze, which is actually bullish because we're on the lower level of that band. So usually when it's forming a squeeze like that, I could even draw it for you. If we are, I'm gonna draw it on the red. If we are forming a squeeze like this, right? Let me see, like right there. If we are forming that squeeze, it's kind of crooked. And then the orange line, I'm gonna draw a yellow right there, right? Usually that this the price wants to go in the middle where that yellow line that I drew. So if we actually go to that level right there, where is it? It is right around $25,000. Precisely what I've been talking about, where my target was. And I've been talking about this for the past, I don't know how many days or weeks, but in my previous videos I've been talking about this, that my target, right, in a pretty much the short term is going to be right around 25k. Right, we could go as high as 25k before we actually start going back down and correct for a healthy correction. So that's what we're looking at. And now just to look at the market, why are we pumping? Well, there is actually news that came out, right? But again, I like to say, show me the charts and I will tell you the news. And you know, I already told y'all that there's a good chance that we're gonna spike up, and the target is still 25k. And sure enough, the news came afterwards, right? Good news right here. Whales, let's see, whales move over $363 million worth of Bitcoin and XRP in several transactions. All right, where is the crypto going? You can read this article right here. This is on the Daily Hodl. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin is pumping right now. And also the hodlers continue to hodl, right? I believe we've reached like the supply of Bitcoin that is being taken out of exchanges. I believe it's at 75 to almost 80%. Probably I think 75% of all Bitcoin is being taken out of exchanges. So meaning less and less supply are being traded in exchanges, which is very bullish, right? Now going back to one of the coins that I talked about, which is Engine, right? Engine, like I said in my top four altcoin, Engine actually was the first to move, and look where it's at now. Okay, that's too zoomed in. We're gonna go to the 4-hour chart. As you can see, it's spiked up and it's forming somewhat of a it looks like a distorted bull flag, right? Hopefully it is a bull flag. That's what I'm keeping an eye on, and it looks like right here we are actually breaking back up again on the daily, right? I mean, we're not done going up on the daily chart, because that is actually a beautiful falling wedge squeeze right there, right? So it moved first, right? And that video that I made was only about 2-3 days ago. Okay, and again, the target on this is still at, this is actually the Bitcoin Engine price, but let's actually look at the dollar, right? Sorry, I'm used to looking at the Bitcoin because I always accumulate Bitcoin with trading these altcoins. But if you look at the dollar, it's the same thing. We're going up. This is the weekly chart. That is actually a huge move. We've went up about 30% since my video, right? And I talked about that on my video. See right there? Beautiful, beautiful rise. Okay, I'm definitely, definitely needs to kind of cool off a little bit, but it does have the potential to cool off and continue to move upward. Target on that is still right around here, right, which is around 60 cents. When I made the video, I believe we were below 4 cents, and now we are at 4.4 cents, right? We were like at 3 point something cents. Now we're at 4.4 cents. Target on that is 40 cents. I'm sorry, we're at 30 something cents. Now we're at 44 cents. Target on that is right around 60 cents or even more. It's gonna be right around there. Okay, I hope this helps. My other coins that I chose, feel free to look back on that previous video, but the other coins are Glimmer, Sandbox, and I believe it was Rune, Thorchain. Okay, Sandbox actually started to move a little bit. Glimmer also, GLMR, that's gonna be a big one, I'll tell you that right now. Okay, and you can never go wrong with Mana. That wasn't one of my 4, but it was one of my 5 back in December. Mana is a long-term play that could easily reach $5 per coin. Keep that in mind, because right now we are at what, 60 70 cents, 60 or 70 cents, right? Could easily reach $5 or more. All right, hope this helps. I hope this helps. And again, if this type of content, if you like this type of content, please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Until next time, bye bye.